Sunday. Let's get an update video here. So we have been holding on quite a bit more. We did fall out on the 15-minute. I'll get to like the main point in a second, but we did fall out on the 15-minute, came down. Excuse me, 30-minute came up, kind of picked us up a little bit. We haven't started under it until here. I'm more bearish than I am bullish here, though we are above a couple things. I'm like in the middle. I'll put it that way. I don't want to say I'm one way or another, and I'll kind of explain in a second. On like the 30-minute, the 1 hour is all the way down here. So technically the 1 hour is at a lower low. If it does come down, which is kind of bad, but in a couple hours, if it can hold up here, it'll be pretty high. One big thing is to note, and this will get into it, is about the VIX, and that will be at 3 o'clock. So most likely by the time this actually hits 3 o'clock, if we just do this and then we just do this. So if we just look at it this here, by the time this average hits 3 o'clock, which will be the time that the VIX opens, this will be way above this area right here. And so that's just the kind of the main thing. So I doubt that a lower low is really going to be created here. So let's get to the main kind of thing here. What have we been looking for? So the main thing that I was talking about was the dollar index. The VIX is also something, but the dollar index is probably about a 70% weight, and the VIX has about a 30% weight to what happens. So right now, this is a bearish start for the day time frame. So yes, we do have this with a lower low and starting here. So we could push up more. It is definitely possible to have a reversal here. I think it's a lot less likely to have a reversal on the dollar index today. I think it's a lot more likely to have it tomorrow in a sense. So we are here. We pushed up a little bit. We're kind of just sitting here. More likely than not, I'd expect this candle to look something like this and then try to push up. And what I would be really worried about for bearishness for crypto and for the open market, or like the stock market, would be then a day starting right around here, and then we could push up to here. I still think it either pushes up to here, and then turns back around. But that's what I'm looking for essentially. So I don't think anything is going to be too crazy today. We've really just been sitting in this area. I get why it's just sitting in this area. People are placing their bets. There hasn't really been anything that's come out to change anything. I do think if the dollar index did start up here, I do think we would be somewhere around 20,700, 20,000 to 20,600, 20,700 already. But this is still more bearish than it is bullish, but there is a bullish possibility here. That's the main thing that I would say. I think the worst thing would be if it started a little bit higher up, because there's not as much room to really push up. That kind of is what it is now. So the VIX, what I'm kind of talking about with the VIX, let's get rid of this for now. Let's just go to here. We've never had a week, and this is a pretty reasonable trend line. Even if I push this all the way up to here, we've never had a week, even when I raise it up, we've never had a week start under this, or a month time frame candle start under this. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. So I think that'll be pretty interesting, and I think that could also be incredibly bullish for a decent amount of things. Now, there are some other kind of specifics about it. So essentially saying, like, if we start with at 17.7, yeah, so like 17.8 pretty much if it starts, I could definitely see this pushing down quite a bit more. The one issue I do have with this, in a sense, is that we're not on the new month yet. And as we can see, we've never had a month that started under this. And same thing, if I move it up, we've never had a month that's started under this. The month isn't ended. It hasn't ended here, so this doesn't matter. But there is always a chance of pushing back up into this area and then pushing back down further. But we'll kind of see what happens. I could definitely see another spike up if we do start the week under here, though. So if the VIX starts under 17.8 or $70.80, 83 cents, I could definitely see the market shooting up quite a bit tomorrow, and I could definitely see Bitcoin shooting up quite a bit. if it does do that, I could even see Bitcoin pushing up somewhere to, was it 26? Yeah, 26,000 is probably what I would say. Maybe not. Maybe just 22.4. But I definitely believe this would be, so this is the total range of what I would expect. And this is the safest range, right? Between 22.5 and 26,000. So we'll just have to really just see what happens. It's really in between. We did get the day that started above, which is pretty nice, all things considered. We didn't get a day that started under. It's not always a secure thing, but usually it's nice to see something that actually starts above to show that it might push up. And I don't mean like this, I mean something like relatively within the range. So, for that perspective, I'm bullish on things. We'll have to see what happens with the VIX at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. The dollar index still looks bad. Still looks like it wants to move down. Nothing here looks good. There's a possibility for a reversal. That, to me, in my opinion, depends on not what the VIX does today, but where it starts tomorrow. Really, realistically, the dollar could push up all the way here today and just end down here tomorrow. And if it ends under, I'm going to be more likely thinking that it drops. So in that sense, I'm really more concerned about this 102.323 point or like value on the dollar index, and to see if we start under there tomorrow. To me, it's still bearish, and it's still bullish for markets in that sense. The VIX could be super bullish if it does start under 17.8 or 17.83. So that would be like another extra level of bullishness. We could also see things not being too incredibly bullish because we do have, like, we could push up and then still struggle somewhat in this area. Obviously, as I said before, it does buck the trend of lower, high, lower, or like high, lower, high, lower, high, because now we've created something higher than this here, but we could still contest this and then push back down. I mean, we look at that, but if we do push down, this is still the lower bound of the range. And arguably, as long as the week doesn't end, we could say this is a lower bound of the range all the way at 16.8, because I could see it pushing all the way down 16.8 and then coming back up, and starting the next week and not ending under 18K and then, getting more strength to push back up. So there's a lot of things to be concerned about. We are pretty far bought up. Those are the signals that I'm looking for right now. So it's really just, where's the VIX kind of going to start? I still think Bitcoin, where it is fairly overbought. The day's okay for what it really is. And I think that's pretty much it. And then the dollar index. Where's the dollar index going to start tomorrow? Personally, I would like to see. I think it's worse if the dollar. So I'll say this, and I'll kind of explain like the more specifics about it. I think it's worse if the dollar index just pushes up. I would much like. Okay, it's difficult to kind of say because I have to say it correctly. For the dollar index itself, I think it is worse. For stocks and being a bull, I think it is better if the dollar index pushes up here, because we have this to contend with, this, and then easy just knock it right back down here. The worst thing you'd want to see as a bear is this to just drop and then find support right here and then start pushing up. You don't want to see this change in direction right here. You really just don't want to see this. This 1, 2, 3. That is something you do not want to see, and then see it push up. Because even if it gets wrecked here with this down here, it's a lot easier for this to start here, even push down somewhere around here, get picked up, and then continue all the way up. So this just pushing up, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but this just pushing up before it possibly pushes down to 102.080, I think is better for stocks, or the odds that it's better for stocks is a lot higher than it's not. I would say that. Like, there's just one thing, like, right? If you want to be if you're bearish on something, you'd rather something go up without testing for support because then if bears, when they do come in, because it just makes sense in that area up there and people take profit and bears come in, it makes a lot more sense when it comes back down. It's just going to fall through because it never had support there before. And like who cares about this range, right? If you're really going to take this range and you want to see something like this, you're going to pick it up here, or look for something there and then try to pick it up here. So if this pushes all the way up, essentially, like essentially, like it's the range has already been met, or the range has been completed in a sense. So why, even after you see your signal, why would you see your signal? Like, because like you're, I can't think of a good analogy for it. But it's like you're trying to get something and you're looking for a good signal, but someone else already got it. So it's like, okay, there's nothing there to get on average. So why mess with it? So I think that's pretty much it. I don't really want to get into too much of anything else. I guess the only thing I guess I could show is the hang thing looks pretty interesting. So we'll kind of have to see. We'll kind of have to see where the hang sang starts. It still does have its top of 22,200. So we'll see how that goes, especially since we're looking at pretty much this here, this here. So it is a little, and technically, if we want to really get into it, we're looking at this here. So, you know, high, lower high, easy hold, lower high right here if we do come here. So nothing too surprising if it does push up. This is really where a lot of it starts to kick in. I still could see it going all the way up to 23.8. I think that's incredibly possible, especially with where the dollar index is. So we'll just have to see. And so I don't really look too much at all into these. I really haven't. I don't know if they've done anything decently. Where's January 1st? Okay, so these have been pretty decent buys since when I was talking about up 22%. So I think it's possible. I mean, I like this too. This isn't great, but this is actually insane right here. This is easy money. Easy money right there. Easy money. How much of a difference is that? 5 cents. Yeah, that's easy money right there. That's actually really nice. But so we'll just kind of see with that. I just kind of wanted to bring it up. I don't really think there's any need to go into any other stuff. I still don't like alts. I guess that's the last thing I could say. I still don't like alts because we are in a situation where either Bitcoin really drops or it really shoots up. And if you're in an alt, unless it's some alt that really looks like it has a lot of possibility where it is right now, or it's just an alt that's very volatile, but like Dogecoin or Cardano, I wouldn't want to be in any of those, like the bigger alts. I wouldn't want to be in any of those, or even Ethereum. Excuse me, I wouldn't really want to be in. Actually, let me see Ethereum, but I'm pretty sure Ethereum too. I just wouldn't really want to be in them so much more um, over Bitcoin. It's not so if I was in crypto right now, I wouldn't want to be in crypto. It's just specifically with Bitcoin. And then, yeah, so like right there recently, we had our new day start and we started once again um, above 20,847.9. So it still looks pretty decent. It could still push down. It doesn't look super bearish. I think we're more likely to see something with the VIX, so we'll kind of see how that comes out. And I think that's pretty much it for like what I'm looking at from my perspective and what I expect to see pretty much. So anyway, take care. I'll probably put out a video. Maybe I'll start streaming again soon. I don't know. It feels like a lot of work, but for some of these things, but I should get back into it. Anyway, take care, y'all. Love you. Peace out.